Our other big story today, the new king of Saudi Arabia pledging to stay the course after the death of his brother, King Abdullah. King Salman calling for solidarity among the Arab nations. For more perspective on this, we're joined by Robert Jordan, a former U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia, who took the post just after 9/11 and worked with the king to promote a stronger relationship between our two countries. Ambassador, it's great to have you on the program. Just initially, what's your reaction to the death of King Abdullah and the new leadership in Saudi Arabia?
Well, Jenna, this is of an era. King Abdullah was a large figure. He set a path toward reform that has a long way to go. But I have a lot of confidence Salman will be able to continue on that path. And he's also in the process of some very able cabinet members, Mohammed bin Crown Prince, in ways that I think will even make a stronger ally for us.
It's no secret that you took the helm of the ambassadorship at a really difficult time, and a month after 9/11. And it's no secret at all that 15 of the 19 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. And I'm curious about your relationship and how you see your relationship, our relationship with Saudi Arabia from that point on, and how you feel the country will continue to help serve us in our stated public goals of the war on terror. What do you think the new leadership means for that?
Well, first of all, I think they had a really hard time after 9/11 accepting 15 of the 19 hijackers could have been sons of Saudi Arabia. We had to convince them with some pretty direct evidence. Once they became convinced, they realized they had a problem in their midst. But it really took some bombings in the housing compounds in Riyadh in 2003 to get their full attention. And by 2007, they had actually gotten rid pretty much of Al-Qaeda throughout the kingdom. What we're now seeing as a result of that, because much of it migrated to Yemen. But I think King Salman is a very savvy individual. He was governor of Riyadh province for over 40 years. He's a great administrator. He's at his desk at 8 o'clock every morning. And he is very much known as a straight shooter, very much like King Abdullah.
There have been questions about the Saudis supporting terror groups, and I should make this disclaimer, a difference between the Saudi government and big oil, if you will, inside Saudi Arabia, supporting terror groups like ISIS because of the threat of Iran and wanting to make sure that the playing board is being played the right way in favor of the Saudis. And I'm just curious on that of how good of an ally do you think they really are when it comes to American interests in the Middle East?
I think we're pretty well aligned with the Saudis. The Saudis believe ISIS treats them as a mortal enemy. ISIS has stated their main objective is to take over the cities of Mecca and Medina in Saudi Arabia and become the real custodians of Islam. So I think they're about to Saudi Arabia's one in the world. And they're very much aligned with us in that regard.
What about what's going on in Yemen today and the upheaval there just to the south of the Saudi Arabia's border? What do you think that means for Saudi Arabia? And also, what do you think that means for us as well and our interests?
There have been border skirmishes there for years, and the Saudis have been heavily involved in military troops on that border. They're now looking at building a wall across that border, in addition to one across the Iraqi border, to try to stabilize and solidify it. But they've been fighting proxy wars with the tribes in and out of the Houthi areas in Yemen for a number of years, and it's only getting worse at this point.
Ambassador Jordan, it's great to have you. I knew we're going to have you back on the program hopefully next week to talk about the quote-unquote Great Wall that the Saudis are building along their borders. Although plans in place for many years, it looks like they're ramping that up in light of all the upheaval in the region. Ambassador Jordan, great to have you. Thank you so much for the time today.
Sure, my pleasure.